Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and doing another Aether Revolt Intermediate Swiss Draft League. Okay, if you like the content on this channel, please subscribe and like the videos. Thank you. Alright, so we have Oath of Ajani, which I think is actually good, but I don't want to first pick a two-color card. So I'm looking at Restoration Specialist, which is an amazing card. Revolt Enabler plus huge upside value card. It's currently my first pick. The Plunderer is very good. Haven't gotten a chance to play with this yet. Revolution, Demolition, and those are really the first pick. So I think I think I would pick Demolition over Revolution. It's more color intensive, but it just deals with more things, even though it doesn't knock out a land. But I feel like I just want the Specialist. This card, I feel like the value on this is very, very high. I might be wrong, but I just got a chance to play with it, and I was really, really impressed with it. Oh, wow. So, wait, what does this crazy card do? It's got Revolt. I haven't played with this or against it yet. Okay. Kill something with Revolt. That's pretty good, too. We could take another Specialist. I kind of feel like it's a good follow-up to the first one. Revolt Enabler. There's plenty of artifacts in this format. There's plenty of enchantments in white, as well as other colors. There is a Shock in here. There is a Prey Upon. But I think I'm just going to take the Specialist. I'm trying to think which other color besides white is going to have the most enchantments. And for some reason it's not immediately coming to me. But we'll be mindful of that. I think these Specialists are pretty amazing though. Okay, so now we have a Renegade map. We have nothing in white, I don't think, right? We have this Mythic Energy card, which is actually a good way to get energy, but it's just a little bit too pricey of a cost. So I think I'll take the map here. I'm not giving up anything that's like worth jumping into a color for. I think Fenhaller's actually pretty good. I really haven't gotten a chance to play much of it, honestly. Like I said, the beauty of Restoration Specialist is I think most of the best enchantments are in white anyway. So it's kind of like perfect for the card. But let's take the map. I mean, it's, I guess, something I could bring back with Specialists, but presumably I won't be doing that. This will be a good... We've got all the Revolt enabling here, but let's just take this map for now and... Ooh, get an awesome white card here, yeah. So I think we're just going to take the Aeronaut. What else is good in here? Finality's playable. Leaving the Dust is playable. Well, Aeronaut's kind of like the clear pick, so it's good that we first picked these couple white cards. Let's take the Aeronaut here. Be pretty happy about that. Ooh. Well, Stockpile is pretty awesome. It is an enchantment to bring back with Specialists, but I don't anticipate it going to the graveyard all that often. But we have 3 Revolt Enablers right now, and honestly, this thing just feeds itself. It's pretty insane. So that might just be worth picking here. There's also Audacious Infiltrator, which is just straight white. But I don't mind taking the Hidden Stockpile and maybe trying to make it work. I love Scrounging Bandar. I think Brawler is good. I think Garrison is good. Prey Upon is obviously good. But let's take the Stockpile. I haven't gotten a chance to play with this. I haven't explored black-white. I'm hoping there's some enchantments in black that I'm overlooking. I mean, obviously this is one, but I guess I meant other ones too. But let's take the Stockpile. I played against this and I was pretty impressed. So Harpooner actually looks very good in here because we've already got enablers for it. And I think I undervalued this card. I actually kind of like what it can do. We have the Fenhaller, which I guess has good synergy with the Stockpile. And I guess the Renegade map, too. But let's take the Harpooner. Can kill things. I like it. I'm trying to think if there's anything, a sign in here. I like this implement the most, I think. So I don't know if that's necessarily a sign for green, though. Okay, so now we can take the Renegade. We can take the Aeronaut. 4 mana, 3/3 flyer is pretty good. But 4 mana 2/2 flyer is pretty bad. There's efficient construction, but we just don't have the artifacts to support that yet. Another Leave in the Dust, another Garrison. All of these are fine. I could just take the Renegade. I don't think this card's great, but I could take it. It's a 2-drop. It's a 2-drop that cuts white. All right, we'll take the Renegade. I'm just going to cut white. I think Garrison's probably just a better pick, but I probably can find another one. So we can take another Renegade, another opportunity to get Fenhauler, but I prefer low curve decks, and I feel like we already have these high value cards and specialists, so having a low curve deck is not going to be as punishing when you have cards that can bring back things for you. We still have plenty of time to find more artifacts and enchantments as well. And now we're kind of... Well, Alien Evasion's a great card too, so we'll take that. I don't think anything else in here is standing out to me. Destructive Tampering going late is interesting because I'm starting to evaluate this card higher, but let's take the Alley Evasion, obviously. It's a great card. Okay, Unbridled Growth. No black cards in here. Probably just take the Decommission. Like, I don't really like Dispersal Technician. Sailback's not worth jumping into red for. I would, take it or leave it. I don't need it. Aegis Automaton is okay. It's kind of cool with like Harpooner and I guess Aeronaut, but we'll take the Decommission. It's main deckable. Okay, so we have a Conviction, which I guess is cool with the stockpile, sort of. I mean, we have some Revolt stuff already. I guess I'll take it. Could take the Implement as well, but I'll take a Conviction. I'm okay with that. So here's the white Implement. Secret Salvage is just not playable in Limited. Probably not even playable in... Yeah, I don't even know you could build around that. We could take the Inspector. I guess it's playable. It's really not very good. Plus, we don't have any other sort of energy plan, but we'll take it. Okay, we get a black Implement anyway. I'm going to take it over the Assembler. I'll take a Precise Strike just in case I end up in red, I guess. I mean, currently we only have 2 cards that require black, and we're certainly white. That's all we know. So, all right, Daring Demolition, that is good. That is a reason to go black. It is hard removal. Aid from the Cowl, not worth jumping into green for. Trophy Mage is very good, but we can't... I mean, we'll eventually be able to find that. So I'll take Daring Demolition. If we could wheel the Resourceful Return, that'd be pretty great. This card has been a big hitter. And I think that's all I see. So let's take the Daring Demolition. Like I said, a bit color intensive, but it is just a nice answer to things. And there's nothing else really standing out to me here. So if we could wheel Resourceful Return, that'd be amazing, but I'm not holding my breath. Ooh, SRAM Senior Edificer. So 2 mana, 2/2. We already have quite a bit of incentive to play auras now. We have Felidar Guardian, which gives you more into the battlefield effects, but we could just take another Daring Demolition. I mean, the upside on this is quite a bit of value, but currently we don't have any value with it, do we? We have no auras, we have no equipment, we have no vehicles. We could find some. I guess we do have 1 aura. Never mind. We have one aura. I'd probably just take another Daring Demolition. Like, I could still have time to find gasoline for this, but I feel like at this point I'd rather just have a 4-drop removal spell. Hard removal. Kill everything. Ooh. Well, now we're getting the good black. So, Poisoner, Aetherborn. I'm going to go Aetherborn here. This card is really good. Once again, color intensive, but very powerful. And then we have Poisoner, which is also good. So it looks like black is flowing this direction. We've already gotten double Daring Demolition. Okay. So we have Eagle, Requisitioner, Aeronaut, Renegade Map. We actually have... How much... let me think about this. I'm trying to see how much Revolt I have. I already have these two. These two, that's 4. 5? 5 Revolt? That's okay. I don't really think Sly Requisitioner is very good at all, especially for us. Could just take the Eagle. We have all of these... Yeah, I feel like the Eagle in our deck is the most synergistic. So I'm going to take it over the map. Besides being a flyer, that's also really good. But we have the potential to spit out a ton of these servos if we can board stall for a while. And the Renegades hook us up too, and then we can just go over top with some vigilance and buffing. So we'll take the Eagle. Another airdrop Aeronaut. Wow. That's a really nice pickup for us, so happy to take it. Okay, so now we can take the Caught in the Brights. The problem is we have no vehicles. We can still find a vehicle. So I feel like we are legitimately just, yeah, we're white-black. So I could take the Infiltrator. I'd probably just take the Caught in the Brights because I want something. I wanted to get some value off this Specialist. And currently we just don't have the value that I'm looking for. This can potentially go to our graveyard if we can find a vehicle. I'm hopeful that we can either wheel one from this pack or find one in pack 3. And if we can, then we're going to be in good shape. So I'm going to take it over the 2-drop, take it over the Revolutionary. And actually, Salvager would be playable in here with all the tokens too, but that's okay. Siege modification is good. I probably just want the Augmenting Automaton over the Implement. This card gets very good as a mana sink. And we could use another cheap creature. You can always use more creatures, right? It also is something we can bring back with the Specialist, so okay. So currently we're rocking 2 enchantments we can bring back with Specialists, but one is going to require some enabling to get to our graveyard. I would prefer to cut the Inspector when we get to that point, and maybe the Implement too, if it gets to that. Ooh, wow. Thopter Arrest is a pretty... This won't get to our graveyard for Specialists unless it gets destroyed, but it's still such a powerful card. It's amazing to see it this late. So we'll take it over these very playable 2-drops and be quite happy about it. So our deck actually does have some good finishing power. These are flyers. The Eagle's flyer. Our early game is good. I'm trying to think what the weakness of our deck is, because we have all the removal you could ask for. We have the evasive finishers. We have the value bring-back cards. I think I just want a little more synergy with these Specialists. I'm looking for, and we're a bit color-intensive too. So there are some actual, wow, we got Resourceful Return back. That's really nice because we absolutely have enough artifacts to make this work. We have Hidden Stockpile. We have, besides the obvious artifacts, we also have an Implement we could possibly play, the Renegades, the Stockpile, and maybe Inspector, but I don't think we're going to play that one. But Resourceful Return has been very good, and we do have some pretty powerful cards to bring back. So I actually really like the way this deck looks. Like I said, I think the true weakness of this deck is that we are color intensive, but Renegade Map is going to help with that, I think. So we could take Flyer versus Menace. That's interesting. So this blocks better, but does not attack better. This attacks better, but doesn't block better. So would I rather have a better blocker or a better attacker? I feel like they both have a form of evasion. I don't have a buff. I think I'm going to go Osprey. I feel like I just like flying more than Menace, even if I get 1 less toughness. That might not be necessarily right, but I think those two are pretty close. So we can take another Conviction. I don't think we need a second one. I guess I could take Implement. It's an artifact. Revolt Trigger. They're both Revolt Triggers, though. Maybe I want a second Conviction. I'll take the Implement. I'll just diversify. It just seems unlikely I would play 2 Conviction. I guess I would rather play the black Implement over the white one. I'd rather make them discard than gain 2 life. But we are looking good. We're actually looking pretty good right now. We have a low curve deck, which you know I love. We have some powerhouse cards. We have finishing power. Could take the Enforcer. Don't have a need for energy. This thing does gain us 3 life, but we have enough 5-drops. I guess we'll take the Enforcer. I don't really want to play Enforcer either. So cards we want to cut. I think Inspector, Enforcer, both Implements. I'm willing to play them. I just don't think that we need them. Guess I'll take the thing. Yeah, I don't think I need them. I mean, I'm willing to play them if I have to. Decommission doesn't have to mean main decked, but for now I'm perfectly fine with it being here. We easily can do 16 lands because of the Renegade map. We have all the removal. We have all of it. We'll let him have a negate, actually. We're not going to do anything with that. So yeah, I think this is my first black-white deck in this format too, I believe. And generally, I did not have a lot of success with this archetype in Triple Kaladesh, but let's see if we can change things. This deck looks cool. It has the potential, like I said. We've got the last pick, a red card. I'm not sure if that's whoever passed that trying to tell me something, but we are not going in red. At this point, I have very powerful black cards, albeit color-intensive ones, but Stockpile is like one of the main amazing parts of this deck. Wow. I wonder if Ovia is worth splashing for. You know what's funny is she might actually be. She can take a game over, and it's not like you need multiple green to make it work either. So that's an option. We also have the Eddy Trail Hawk. We have a Filigree Familiar. We have a Sky Skiff. A lot of good options here. The Sky Skiff is an evasive creature that turns on our Caught in the Brights to get to the graveyard, which is actually good. Ovia just wins games, though, because we have a lot of creature. You play her on the splash, and you start spitting out huge artifact creatures. We have the Renegade map to make it work. I'm much more willing to run 17 lands if I'm playing 3-color, I guess. She may actually be worth the splash, though. I think there is a legitimate argument for that, just because if you splash for her, it still takes an extra turn because it's not like she can protect herself, but just start spitting out constructs. I think I'm going to take her. I know it seems a little bit crazy, but Ovia to me kind of feels like worth the splash. Operative is fantastic. There's a Prism in here, which Prism might be what we want for Ovia now, but Operative is such a strong 2-drop. There's also a Bruiser in here. The Whisper Angel is so good. I may actually just want the Angel, but I'm trying to think how highly I have to prioritize this Prism. You know what's funny is the Prism is actually really important in here because we have very color-intensive spells, and we want to splash Ovia. This is tough. What are the chances I wheel a Bruiser, an Angel, or an Operative? I don't think we're going to wheel the Angel, but possibly Bruiser gets wheeled. I don't think Prism will. I don't think it will. I think we're going to go for the Prism. I really want to take this Angel. I think it's a great card, especially with some of this Revolt we have. But I am actively trying to make Ovia work in here now. I think this card is sweet, and I think it is worth the splash. We'll find out. We will find out, but I'm going to take Prism. So Toolcraft Exemplar. We have Impeccable Timing. All of these cards can go now, so now we're just doing straight upgrades. Probably don't need Conviction. I think we have enough ways. I think. I'm not sure on that, though. We could take the Impeccable Timing. We only have 12 creatures currently, though, so we might just want some more creatures. I think our removal is better than Impeccable Timing anyway. We have a Trick. We have Thopter Arrest, Caught in the Brights, Double Demolition. So they're a little more expensive than usual, but they're still very good. The Hawk lets us go over top with some of our ground guys, but yeah, I guess it's more exciting than like a Herald of the Fair. Lawless Broker is actually pretty good. I don't think Toolcraft Exemplar is amazing in our deck. It's more of an aggressive card, and I feel like we're a little bit more of a grind you out win sort of way. Maybe that is a good reason to take Broker then. Broker strikes me as more of a I'm going to block your guy and get value sort of card. So Augmenter seems great. There's an Artisan in here. There's a Puzzle Knot. Acrobatic Maneuver, Mastodon. A lot of good options. I think we're just going to take the thing that fills the board with a million things. This card is just great. So we probably just hack the Conviction now. Okay. I'm okay with that. So take the Augmenter, which is an actual great card. So Aether Hub, we have Construct, we have Pillar Bug, Knightsbridge Patrol, which, keep in mind, Patrol is not actually a Revolt. It's not any permanent. So Construct we can get back. I feel like if I'm going to take Construct, I might as well just take the Pillar Bug. That makes more sense to me. Yeah, our deck's starting to get a little bit tight on goodies, which, like I always say, is a great problem to have. So maybe we don't have to main deck the Decommission. Would I rather just do a Bug? Possibly. I want to make sure I have enough creatures. I want the Artifact creature for specialist value, but alright, we'll take Percata Pillar Bug for now. Dynavol Tower. I don't think we have what? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only have 5 instants and sorceries. That's not worth it. We could do the Scavenger. That's not really worth it either, but there's nothing else in here we care about. I guess we'll take the Scavenger. I mean, Dynavol Tower is cool. I just don't think we're certainly not geared in a position where we can make it work. Well, Foundry Screecher is great, but I kind of want to take the Sky Skiff here because then it actually gives us a way to get caught in the Brights in the graveyard. Foundry Screecher is very good too, but we're going to take the Sky Skiff over the Aetherborn, over the Screecher. I've had a lot of good experiences with Sky Skiff, and like I said, I want a way to get caught in the Brights in our graveyard for specialist value, which I think is important, so we'll take the Skiff. Ooh, back-to-back Skiff. That's great. That's going to be perfect, actually. So let's cut the Scavenger. Let's cut the Decommission. I'm going to have to find one more cut, but that's not a big deal. Actually, I might even have to find a couple cuts, but I'm not super concerned about it. Okay, the Hawk lets us go over top. I guess Acrobatic Maneuver gives us more Revolt. It's good with Eagle. It's good with Augmenter. It's good with Harpooner, I guess. It's okay with Renegade, not that great. And then it protects. I feel like Hawk could actually make this deck, though. We don't have the greatest non-flyers to work with it, but I just don't think Maneuver is going to make the deck. I don't think. Ooh, what? We got Operative and Bruiser back? I'm going to take Operative over Bruiser. That's incredible, actually. Geez, now I'm a little more tempted to, just because of how good our pool is, I'm kind of tempted to run 16 lands 3-color. Unfortunately, I think it's too dangerous in this deck just because of the sheer quantity of double color spells we have. I feel like this is kind of an ongoing trend with the black-white decks. They tend to have color-intensive, powerful spells. That's kind of the price you pay. You get overall better card quality, but your mana base suffers a little bit because of, like I said, how color-intensive these spells are. But, I mean, I don't think anybody can deny this card pool is great. I could completely ditch out on the Ovia Splash plan, but we're so well positioned for it right now with a Prism and a map. We're going to be able to splash this. I kind of want to try it. Exemplar, I guess, is more exciting than Herald of the Fair. It's not going to make... I don't think either are going to make the deck. Just because, like I said, we're not really a beatdown deck. Mastodon's great, though. Yeah, if I'm running 17 lands, I probably would like to have Mastodon in here. So we're going to have to figure out some real cuts. Real cuts in here. Probably Osprey can go. I'm probably going to ditch out on the Exemplar, I think. We're going to have to take a long, close look here. But we'll be able to figure it out, definitely. We're going to figure this out. That was weird. I got a constant Skygate, but I didn't even get to see the pack. Okay, so we're on to our... I guess it doesn't really matter. We're on to our last picks in here anyway, and we're already... I mean, we got to make a lot of cuts here, so... We're in a good spot. We are in a good spot. We just need to figure out what our priorities are. So, like I said, we're more of a win in the late game, grind you out through value sort of deck. That's the impression I'm getting, which is interesting because we have this low curve, so you would expect us to be like, no, we can beat down. The truth is we can beat down, but I don't see a lot of incentive to position the deck in that direction. Like, I think because of our pool, we're better off going for like a mid-range grind you out strategy, right? Because Stockpile is so good at just being able to basically just make an army And we have all of these big flyers, big finishers. So I don't need the Skygate. I don't really think I want the Exemplar. Like, it is pretty cool that it can attack for 3. But we also have Ovia, which can take the game over. So I feel like I would rather go for the grind you out version that can stay busy early. I think that makes more sense to me. Just because we have great removal, and we have some flyers. So, yeah, we've got a lot of good removal, a lot of good value spells. So, cuts, I don't know what's going on with this lag. This is kind of blowing my mind right now. Okay, finally on to deck making. So let's do this. So we've got to make a ton of cuts. Skygate can go. I feel as though I'm not going to do the Exemplar. But, I mean, Renegade's nothing to write home about either. Osprey flies. That brings us up to 4 flyers. Oh, 6 flyers with the Skiff. It doesn't block well. But, like, Broker is better for the grind, because it trades presumably up and gives you a counter, which is actually pretty good. So I kind of want to keep the Broker around. We have good bodies for it, too, right? The Aetherborn, any of our flyers. The Pillar Bug. Putting it on 2 opportunities to put it on a lifelinker is pretty nice. Maybe we don't need the Hawk. It's our only form of energy in the deck, and it does give flying, but I really don't need it. And like I said, we just have a lot of cuts to make. I think Automaton is still okay, because it's a good, once again, it's another good like mid to late game card. So let's cut the Hawk. Let's cut the, maybe we cut 1 Renegade. Maybe cut the Osprey. It's not that the Osprey's bad, it does fly, but kind of not blown away with it. I'm trying to find a way to make this Exemplar work in here. It's tough. Remember, it's only on your turn that it becomes a 3/2 first strike, which is good, but I feel like it's not super, it doesn't gel quite right with like the overall deck plan. That's my issue with it, but we just have a lot of cuts to make, so I'm not sure. I mean, we presumably have the artifacts to support it, right? Got all sorts of ways to get artifacts. This is tough. These count as half a creature each, too. And we're already cutting 2. So we can still afford to cut, I guess, like 4 creatures if I wanted. So what are my weakest creatures? My weakest creatures I feel like are an Osprey, a Renegade, even though it's okay. God, I still kind of want to cut this Exemplar. This is tough. See, the problem with the Exemplar is it can beat down well on its own, but it's also a horrible, like, top deck. It's not like getting a 3/2 first strike on your turn on turn 10 is particularly good. But, like, getting an Automaton on turn 10 is great, right? It's like, oh, suddenly I have a 1 mana, 4/4 or 5/5 maybe. We just got to make cuts. I might have to make more cuts than I want to make here. I'm definitely going to splash for Ovia, though. With Prism and Map, it feels worth it to me. The question still is, am I going to be able to run 16 lands? I think the answer is no, unfortunately. I want it to be, but I could cut all the Renegades. They're not that great anyway. They have good synergy with our Eagle and Ovia, but Ovia doesn't need a ton of synergy. So I could cut the Renegade as well, but then I can't cut any more creatures. So what does that mean? I have to cut one of these? Oh, geez. They're all so good. How am I supposed to cut something? What's the weakest of these I have? Maybe Alley Evasion? I'd rather just have 4 hard removal spells. And I feel like Resourceful Return is just too good to get rid of. It's too good to be able to return one of your bomb 5-drop flyers, gain another 5 life, draw a card. The value is just too intensely high. So I think we're going to cut the Alley Evasion, and God, can I get away with 16 lands? It's so dangerous in here, but I can't. I really... Look how tight this 24 card pool is. How am I expected to cut any of these cards? The next cut would have to be like Resourceful Return, and I really don't want to do that. Our curve is still so good, too. I can't help myself. I'm going to go for the greed play. I really don't want to cut any of these cards. Like, think how good Resourceful Return is bringing back Ovia, if they even have the answer for it. Bringing back an Aeronaut, bringing back a Mastodon. We have, like, just these high upside. Bringing back an Aetherborn. We've got these just super strong cards, creatures specifically, to bring back with Return. The value is, like, just too high with this card. So I'm going to run the risk of getting color screwed just because I really want to play all 24 of these cards too much. I really like this pool, though. This pool looks good. I suspect we're going to run into some color issues. But remember, we have the Prism, we have the Renegade, so we can... The Prism is... I'm very happy I picked up the Prism for this deck. So, all right. We want 1 forest, which they agree with, and then 8. They want 8 white, 7 black. That's interesting. I was going to say the other way around because we want the double black on turn 2 for the Aetherborn. But I see why they said more white, because we just have slightly more white spells. I think I'm just going to flip it, though. I think I value getting double black on turn 2 more than getting double white on turn 2, right? Because it's a little bit later in our curve where the double white really matters. And keep in mind, remember, Prism kind of counts as an extra land for everything, and so does Renegade Map. So really we have like 10, 9, 3. Which is certainly good enough. So yes, running a little bit of a risk just because our 24 card pool is too good for me to figure out a cut for. Other than that, I really like the way this deck looks. This is awesome. So, all right, we'll run it like this. We'll see you round 1, folks.